boop-a-dip beep buddy bop boop. This week we explored the senses. And to just kind of kick things off here, we got a little classic example of how your senses are creating illusions. And we'll play more with this in the future, but this is a pretty classic little optical illusion. These two yellow dots are the same size, but this one tends to look a little bit bigger. If you're not trained to look at this, I can kind of see them as the exact same size, just the way they are. But if we pull these out of here, you can see that they are the exact same size. Okay. But when they're over like that, this one tends to look a little bigger. This one tends to look a little smaller. Pretty fascinating stuff. So what are our five senses? Well, of course, we got touch is the first one we're going to talk about. Taste, obviously. Smells. That's a fun one. Hearing, but I like to think of this one, hold on, and also sight, so seeing, sight. But hearing really is, there's more to hearing in your ear. So I like to call this one ears, because your ears do a lot more than just hear things. They help you keep balance and sense your position. And what does all of this allow us really to kind of do? They allow us to perceive the world around us. Without our senses, we wouldn't have any real understanding of what was going on around us outside of our bodies. We could still feel things like emotions, right? That's not done in our senses. But they allow us to perceive the world around us. And what's fascinating about our senses is that we perceive it in our mind, right? So they communicate with our brain or our mind, and they allow us to perceive the world in our mind. But they also get a little philosophy here. They not only allow us to perceive the world around us in our mind, but we create the world in our mind through our senses. The world, the three-dimensional space reality, does not exist without a mind to perceive it. Like when you look at a flower, you create that flower in your mind through your senses. Getting a little deep here, but without that, there would be no flower that existed other than by being perceived in a mind. Pretty crazy stuff. And even crazier, okay, so touch, that one makes sense. Taste also maybe, smell also maybe, hearing, yeah, sight also. All of these senses, every single one of them, works by things bumping into other things. That's what a sense is. We sense a thing bumping into another thing. Okay? Pretty weird. We'll start with touch. We'll dive into that one. Okay, so touch, we're going to draw a little cross section of our skin here. So we'll start with touch. The touch, the feel of cotton. Touch. And this is more, again, than just touch, really. Although it is things bumping into other things. All right, let's talk about this one. Okay, so let's draw a little cross section of some skin here. You guys have drawn this. You're familiar with this in lab. We've seen this several times. Got a couple of different layers of our skin. Kind of looks like a little frosting on a cake, like so. And then up here we're going to have kind of the outer dead layer, keratinized layer of our skin cells. I'll just kind of draw this quick, nice and sloppy, but these would be stratified squamous epithelium up here, right? Anytime we have stratified, it's to give us extra protection in the layers of our skin. Nice and beautiful. Okay, so this part of our skin here would be our dermis. This would be our epidermis. Epidermis, right? Epi meaning on top, dermis meaning skin. And then this part down here would be our dermis. Dermis. All right, we're going to also draw a little hair follicle here. Because we actually have nerves wrapping around our hair follicle. Pretty cool. And if I don't think we actually, I've not actually had a chance to talk about this yet. We have little smooth muscles. Each one of your hairs on your body, they have a smooth muscle attached to it called an erector pili. Erector pili. And this can pull on your hairs. And it allows the source of your goosebumps. Erector pili muscle. Source of goosebumps. Goosebumps. Okay, that's pretty nifty. All right. Let's put that way down in there small. All right. Boo, 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 boo. Okay, so let's start with our encapsulated. So I'm going to draw these over here. All of these over here. So these would be our encapsulated sensory touch sensors. Encapsulated touch sensors. I'm going to actually move this down to the bottom, I think. Actually, I'll keep it up there. They're on this side. And then over here, we're going to do our unencapsulated touch sensors. Actually, we'll just call them unencapsulated sensors because they don't all, like, touch is kind of not, because some of them measure pain and some of them measure temperature. So I don't really like necessarily to call them touch. Okay. Those will be on this side. Maybe I'll put it up there and I'll put this one up there. Okay. So the way all these encapsulated ones work is something like this. So we got some that kind of scoop around these little lower parts of the epidermis. And actually down here we'd have like layers of fat and more neurons and stuff, and the blood vessels and vasculature. Kind of draw this, kind of want to cruise through these. This one is our subcutaneous layer. Subcutaneous layer. Very cool word. Subcutaneous layer. All right. So up here, kind of scooping around these little like frosting parts of our epidermis. I'm drawing these a little big. They wouldn't be quite this big, but just so that we can actually see them. These little guys measure touch. These are little neurons that all come together like so. These guys here are called Merkel discs, and they kind of like go right up around the dermis. And these measure light touch. These are Merkel discs. I think it's just like that. Discs. Merkel discs. And these are light touch. Light touch. Right, we have different styles of touch receptors that measure different things. So if you kind of take your finger and just kind of just touch your skin real lightly, you'd be activating and feeling that with these little guys hugged right up on your epidermis. Okay, another style, very similar, but it's a little larger. These are also light touch, but has a slightly larger capsule. So these blue parts are the capsule. Let me move this down a little bit, make this a little bigger. Again, I'm drawing these kind of larger than life. And the ends here, you can see they're in the little capsule. This guy would have like multiple ends kind of in the capsule. Like so. And this has got a pretty fun little name. Whoops. Called a Meissner corpuscle. Meissner corpuscle. And this is also light touch. Okay. All right, if we now go down a little deeper, we got two other encapsulated neurons down here. We got one that kind of looks like this. It's got a bunch of capsules that kind of go around it. I don't actually want to draw them spheres. It's got, looks like multiple little capsules around it. These guys are pretty cool. These are maybe my favorite. All right, and then we got these guys that kind of come up in the middle. And they'll have multiple and these are all little axons of the neurons. They'll have multiple little ends coming in like that. And they kind of look like little trees or something. And the capsule's kind of like a beautiful little flower or something like that. I kind of feel like Bob Ross right now. And this little guy here, he's got a beautiful little flower. And the beautiful little flower man here. He's called... Fuck, dude. I'm Bob Ross of biology. I'm having an existential crisis right now. These are called Ruffinian endings. Ruffini. I spelled that right. Ruffini. I'm pretty sure that's right. Ruffini endings. Ruffini. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. Ruffini endings. Is it Ruffinian? Nope, I got it right. Ruffini endings. All right. Okay, so these Ruffini endings, these are also for not so much touch, but like if you press down on your skin. So these are like pressure, light pressure. Right? You know, it's not just like this like kind of grazing, you know, just like that. It's more like, okay, now I'm like pushing down. That's what senses is. These beautiful little flower boys. Okay. All right. And then we got these Pacinian. I like to say Pacinian for some reason. That's how my professor said it. Pacinian, even though there's no H. Pacinian corpuscle. And these sense deep, firm pressure. Okay? Deep, firm pressure. And we'll come back to those. We'll talk about those. Okay. Those are encapsulated. They got these capsules around them. They sense light touch and a couple of pressures. All right, now our unencapsulated neurons or sensors, they wrap around the hair. And so we can feel our hairs moving. Like, you know, you go ahead and do that. Go ahead and move your hair. And you can feel it on your arm. That's useful for like, you know, if scorpions crawling on you or spiders or something. Oh, it's like little sensors to our outside world. We got a big body. We can know if things are crawling on us. So we can put it in a jar and put it outside. I'm a catch and release kind of boy. Okay. Let's see. And then we also got receptors that actually go all the way up into the epidermis. They'll be down here as well, but they'll go all the way up here. And these are like exposed neurons. And these are going to be for temp, sensing temperature, also touch, like light touch, and pain. So if I take a razor blade, let's say, and I cut my skin, or I get a paper cut, literally going to cut into this neuron, and it's going to say, oh, okay, I got messed up. I got to send a signal to the brain, or if you touch a hot stove, so on and so forth. Okay? All right, let's zoom into those, because I think those are cool. So we got our unencapsulated, or our encapsulated touch sensors, and then this is actually I don't know why I didn't put that, unencapsulated sensory neurons. Naked. Unencapsulated sensory neurons. Why is that? I don't know why that's saying that's spelled wrong. Unencapsulated. These are naked neurons. We can think of them that way. Man, my brain. Neurons. Ugh. Excuse me. Okay, I want to talk about a cool one. I want to talk about temperature. I want to talk about this. This is pretty freaking nifty. Somebody in my Bio 1 class said that I say pretty nifty a lot, and I think that's pretty nifty. And they are now saying pretty nifty. So that's pretty nifty. Pretty nifty indeed. All right, so let's zoom in on a temperature sensor. So what we're going to do is do like a little zoom in here, and we'll do it over here. Because this is freaking cool. I want to talk about, let's just talk about in general how this works. Okay, so we got the end of our neuron, let's say. I'll do it in this color. And it's going to have a couple of little open spots. And boop. So this would be like our little neuron axon. Axon of a neuron. Of a temperature. Of a temperature sensing neuron. Temperature. Okay? And how does this work? So let's say at 37 degrees Celsius, that's body temperature. This is body temp. That's how hot you are right now. That's what's up. At 37 degrees Celsius, body temperature, we got ourselves a little channel. And this little channel is closed. Channel is closed. Channel is closed. Okay? It's called a temperature gated channel. Let me actually put this maybe up here. So the way these work is at low temperatures, they be closed. Temperature gated channel. When you get it, so at body temperature, it's closed. As you get it hotter, it's a protein and it starts to wiggle more. And then eventually it'll start wiggling enough that blink, now it opens up. Okay, so then let's say it like, I don't know, pretty hot. You know, it's not quite boiling, but it's like, I don't know, let's say like 80 degrees Celsius. That's pretty hot. That's like 20 degrees Celsius away from boiling. That's probably like, you know, 150 or somewhere in there Fahrenheit. That's pretty hot. Like if hot water, you put it in there, you might be like, oh, this channel's gonna open up. It's gonna say, hey, this is warm. Careful, man. You can hurt yourself here. It might feel good, but you know, be careful. All right, so our temperature sensor, our channel, our protein gonna be wiggling and opening up. Like so. So that boy wiggled a bunch. Oh, that doesn't look right. Nope. I'm doing this all wrong. Okay, so now this bad boy open. Why is it shorter? OCD. Okay, that's better. All right, whatever. I'll take it. Okay, so and then out here we got little calcium ions. We got Ca++. It's got 2 pluses. Boom, 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 boom. And when they're out here, it's all good. But when they come inside, they signal to the body, to this neuron. Hey, remember anything about nerve impulse? We're sending a big positive charge. We're going to send a pulse down this neuron. So this is going to create an action potential. Changes in the membrane polarization, an electrical current. The potassium's going to rush out eventually. Sodium's going to be rushing in. And we're going to send the signal to the brain. Hey, it's hot. Action potential. Sends to the brain. To the brain. Hey, it's hot. Okay? That's pretty cool. Pretty cool how it works. And that's just done by a dance. It's done by a wiggle. All right, now check this out. Let's talk about this bad boy. Who likes the spicy food? I like the spicy food. Okay. There's a component in spicy food called capsaicin. All right. Capsaicin. This is what makes spicy food spicy. How does that work? Capsaicin. It works the same way. It's actually really good for you. Capsaicin can be really good for you. Gives you a little pain, gives you a little dopamine. It has other health benefits too. I can't remember what they are. But it acts the same way as a venom or toxin. It is essentially like evolutionarily designed for us to enjoy, I guess, as well as to like keep rodents from eating all of the fruit. Works the same way as venom or toxin. It is what makes spicy food spicy. So if you like flaming hot Cheetos like I do, fresh jalapenos, pickled jalapenos, all that business. I prefer jalapenos. Some people like habaneros, but I think that's an inferior pepper. It's what makes spicy food spicy. All spicy food is created by this molecule, the spice in it, capsaicin, the heat that you get. It makes a burning sensation. If you've ever like gone hard with some ghost pepper or whatever, and you're like, I feel like I'm gonna die. We'll talk about what's going on. It makes things feel warmer than they are. And how does it do that? All right, well, let's say, again, we got this same sensor. It's the same sensor in all these. But now, no. And let's say it's 37 degrees C, so it's body temperature. But we have a molecule of capsaicin here. They bind essentially to our temperature sensors. So capsaicin binds to temperature gated channel. And actually, I don't have enough room to put it there, so I'm going to put it here. Edit. Get rid of this. Okay. Edit. Temperature. I feel like temperature. That's exactly how I spell it. I guess that's fine too. Temperature. Capsaicin binds. Capsaicin binds to temperature gated channel. And this causes, I got to zoom in because I just don't have enough room here. I got to make this smaller and just zoom in and write this. Okay. Temperature gated channel. Capsaicin binds the temperature gated channel and makes it wiggle more at lower temps, causing the channel to open up. This is freaking fascinating to me. Okay, so when you eat spicy food, what it's doing is it's causing your temperature channels, when they're at lower temperatures, to wiggle more so that they open up. And then that says to your brain now, right? Oh, it's hot, even though it's not. Right? Because this is going to do what? This is going to send an action potential, right, to the brain saying it's hot, even though it's 37 degrees C. So it's an illusion. This is the same way that toxins and venoms work. Like if you get stung by a scorpion or a snake or a spider, it feels warm. And that's because their toxin binds to the same site that capsaicin does. Toxins also work this exact way. Venom or toxins that make you feel hot or heat. It's an illusion. It's not really hot. It just feels that way. Because it's tricking your temperature sensors into sending a false positive, essentially, saying, hey, it's hot, but it's not. It's crazy. I love that. I think that's, I don't know, mind-blowing to me that that's how Flaming Hot Cheetos work. Okay, one last little thing on touch that I want to talk about, because I think it's pretty interesting. All right, we're going to draw a little Pacinian corpuscle here. And we're going to draw it a couple times. So we'll just draw it kind of simple. Looks like that. Okay, and let's say that I've got a little stick here. I got a little stick here, and it's not touching it. This here is our capsule. This here's our capsule. Right? And this is our nerve. Nerve ending. Right? All right, so now if we down here, we look at our nerve impulses. Nerve impulses. Pacinian corpuscle here would be looking something like that. Like it's firing every now and then, but it's not firing very often. Beep. Let me make that a little bit less, actually. Pretty irregular. Okay, so this is like measuring electrical activity. So this is with no pressure. No pressure. All right, now let's say we take this probe and we smash it down into there. All right. Do it a little longer. Okay, something like that. And we got it smushed down. Like so. I'll just copy this bad boy, bring it over. So now this boy's applying pressure to that capsule. All right, what is this going to look like? Wheel. It's going to look something like this. We're going to have bang, bang. It's going to be firing a lot. Right, just a ton of impulses coming down this boy. Pressure applied. Pressure initially applied. Right, we're going to have a lot of neuronal activity. A lot of impulses being sent. Okay? And this I'm just going to copy over. And as the pressure continues, what happens is it goes back. So looking like as if there's no pressure. So continually applied pressure. So they really only fire initially. After time, they kind of stop firing. And this is why this is why you don't feel your socks all day. It's pretty cool. It's also an illusion. Your socks are there all day, but you don't feel them. It's just an illusion. If you don't know that song, look it up. It's a funk classic. All right, and how do these work? So we're going to zoom way in here, way in down here, and look at this neuron. Well, look at that. I found a little digestive system over there. Getting a little close, making these a little big. I'm going to have to shrink these down. Okay, that's fine. All right, so we're going to zoom in there. Look at this bad boy. Shink, shink. Okay. How does this work? Well, we're just going to draw the membrane of the neuron. The membrane of the neuron. We'll draw it in. We'll just draw it in this simple gray. We'll just draw. Oops, I drew that wrong as hell. Boom. Okay, and these guys are phospholipids. Okay, if you remember how to draw these, they got these little tails. That's better. I was drawing them kind of bad there at first. Okay. And we've got our channels. So when there's no pressure, no stretch of the membrane, they're closed. Membrane not stretched. Channel is closed. Stretched. I don't know how to spell stretched. Screeched, stretched, stretched. That looks right to me. Streeched. Membrane not stretched, channel is closed. Okay. Well, let's say now we stretch the membrane. So the lipids are actually going to be pulled slightly apart. We'll just redraw it. So now I've got these membranes are now they're still associated with each other through like van der Waals forces, if you know what those are. If not, that's okay. But they're pulled apart. Lipids are slightly pulled apart from the pressure. If we go back here, we bent this. So there's this bend. It was straight, something like that. And now it's bent. So this whole side here is going to be stretched out, right? You can feel that on your, like, look at my knuckle skin there. Like, look at my knuckle skin. Like, it's nice and relaxed and all punched up. And when I bend it, oh, now you can see it's stretched. Same thing is happening there. Okay? So we're stretching this membrane out. Let me draw in the little phospholipids. My little people with no arms, no body, but they got legs. Beautiful. Okay. And then we've got our channel. And this is actually a sodium channel. And now since we've stretched that membrane a little bit, this channel protein channel. It's an ion channel made out of protein is now open. So mechanical stretching. I'm just forgetting that T. Stretching of the membrane opens the channel. Okay, it's pretty cool. And this allows sodium, which I usually do draw in blue. Let's make it the same color as the channel, Na+, to go into the cell. So this would be, I didn't draw that, outside, and inside. And what happens when we allow sodium channels to come inside the cell? This creates an action potential, or a signal being sent to the brain. Signal sent to the brain. Hey, I'm under pressure. Pretty cool. But over time, this channel is going to close, and that's why we don't feel our socks all freaking day. All right, so we got ions rushing in from the result of things bumping into things. So this thing bumped into this, which stretched this membrane, causing our channel to open up. This temperature from atoms wiggled these to cause them to dance, to open up. And capsaicin bumped into this, causing it to wiggle easier. So touch, very clearly and obviously, is the result of things bumping into things, and then your brain says, I'm touching something. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next one, which I believe is taste. We're going to do taste next. Yes, taste. I hope that touched your heart.